Hi, I'm Desi Stark and welcome to my channel where we talk about luxury, beauty, skincare and lifestyle products, and we try to find the best of the best. Today I'm super excited because I'm talking about a new creation by Cle De Peau. This is the Cushion Radiant Dewy Foundation. I have been using this foundation for a little bit over a week, pretty much every day, and I do have a solid opinion about it. So this is the cushion foundation. It's a standard cushion, just like every other cushion foundation. It's protected by this plastic cap here, so your foundation can stay wet longer. Obviously, it has a very nice mirror inside. My shade right now is 020. Once again, this is supposed to be radiant and dewy foundation. Now I will apply the foundation so you can actually see how it looks on my face, and then I'll give you my thoughts about it. So the only thing that I have on my face is actually my skincare, and I will be applying a little bit, just a very small amount of this primer. This is one of my favorite primers. This is by Sisley. It's the Instant Perfect. The only thing that this does is actually smooths fine lines. I call it the wrinkle eraser because that's exactly what it does. I will apply a very little amount. This much, as you can see, just a little bit less than a pea size actually. So we'll rub it between our fingers, and I'll just do this. Maybe this, okay, maybe a little bit here and a little bit here. And that's it. Now, if you want to smooth your whole face, you can apply this thing all over your face. And for the purpose of showing you how this foundation looks, I don't want to apply it all over my face because I want you to see how truly amazing this foundation actually kind of sits on your skin. I will be using my favorite sponge by Sonia Kashuk. Everything that I'm using today is actually listed down in the description box. But this is lightly damp, obviously, that's why it's so big, almost as big as my head. Okay, I'll apply it only on one side of my face, so you can kind of see the difference. Super easy to apply. It almost has no scent. Actually, it doesn't. Almost none. I think I'm actually mostly smelling my soap that I use to wash my hands. But yeah, this doesn't have fragrance. As you can see, very easy to apply. It gave me immediate, I would say, medium coverage with no effort whatsoever. It is supremely smoothing. Now, this is supposed to be, of course, a radiant, dewy foundation. I don't see it being dewy. Maybe if you have oily skin, it may come out dewy on you. It doesn't on me. And voila, obviously I have it on this side. As you can see, it has such a beautiful smoothing quality to it. It's blurring. I almost feel as if I don't even need a concealer. I will apply concealer because I feel like I'm naked without a concealer, but this is an amazing foundation. It gave me an immediate kind of smoothing, blurring, perfecting quality to the skin. I don't see dewiness, I do see glow, and when I apply the powder after, you see it has this glow from within kind of a quality, which actually I adore. I do not like radiant, too dewy, too wet looking foundations. That's not my style, but this is just perfection. I think if you have very dry skin, this kind of a glow will probably diminish even more. But it has an absolutely beautiful glow, and this is obviously before I'm setting it. I always set my foundations. This one, you don't have to set it. I kind of feel like I do. Again, I feel like I'm naked without setting it, but this foundation is supremely blurring, probably. And voila, this is the foundation, both sides. I think it has a beautiful glow, radiance to it. We will diminish that in a little bit. I have to apply a little bit of concealer. I'm not going to use a very large amount, but I kind of have to. I'll be using this concealer by Hourglass in shade Silk. This concealer has been actually my favorite nowadays. I do love both concealers by Cle De Peau, by the way. They're probably my top 4 or 5 concealers, but I've been really enjoying this concealer. This is a full coverage concealer. You need to use a very little amount, but I do adore it. I love this shade, Silk, because it has a kind of a peachy hint to it. So it will, everything with a kind of a peachy tint, it will diminish the darkness if you have any darkness underneath your eyes. Okay, just a little bit here, and I'm using obviously the same sponge to spread the concealer. I've tried this foundation, by the way, with other concealers as well. It doesn't really matter. Everything stays beautifully on top of it. And if you don't need a concealer, actually, if you don't have pronounced darkness, you don't even need to wear a concealer with this foundation. I will prep my eyelids as well with this concealer. I always set my under eye area with this Pat McGrath blurring under eye powder, and this is in shade Light. I always set my under eye area with the same sponge. If you have dry under eye area, I do recommend that you use a sponge to set your under eye area instead of a brush. So we will use, I do use actually a lot. I'm never going to stop using this powder. This is the only powder that I like using for my under eye area. I mean, I can use other powders as well, but this one actually perfects the eyes so well. Now, as far as the rest of the face, I will set with this Sisley loose powder in Rose Orient. This is currently my absolute favorite powder to set my face with. I have a lot of favorites, but right now I love this one a lot, just because it's a very natural kind of finish. It's very skin-like, and it's very, very, very thin. It looks slightly pink and very maybe even white in here in the pot, but it's actually completely translucent. I'll be using this very large La Mer brush. I will actually use a very, very, very little amount. Not a lot, just because I don't want to diminish a lot of the glow, especially in this area. So I will mostly set this area and down here. Now, I have tested this foundation without setting, without powder as well, and it doesn't really move. I just feel a little self-conscious when I have too much glow on my face. So I'm a professional woman. I can't have the wet look. It's just not, it's not my style. It's not, it doesn't look elegant to me. So, but I'm using a very, very light hand and a very, very small amount. Now, I always do actually kind of smooth over. I use foundation on my neck as well, by the way, not a lot. But I kind of don't want to have a difference between the colors. Sometimes if I'm a very different shade here, I'll go all the way down, depending obviously on what I'm wearing. And this is how it looks all set. Now I will go and complete my eyebrows, my eyes, and I'll apply some bronzer and etc. And I'll come back to give you my thoughts. And we are ready. This is the final look. Just to kind of give you an idea of what else I was able to fit on my face on top of the foundation and the powder. Ooh, I have a lot of my favorite products that I use because I'm going on a date. It's date night. I haven't been on one of those in a very long time because I've been traveling for work, but we'll see. So I'm trying to impress today. Hence the favorite makeup. Okay, on my eyes I have this Tom Ford palette. Rose Topaz. As you can see, I am actually using a lot of this palette, and I have over 40 Tom Ford quads like this one. This is probably one of my favorites. I would say top 3. So Rose Topaz. Mascara, I used another one of my favorite products actually. Okay, currently I have a lot of favorite mascaras, but this probably always kind of remains my favorite mascara. This is by Hourglass, and it's called the Extreme Lash Mascara. It has this very interesting packaging, which I obviously do not dislike. Why do I like this mascara? Number one, it has the most comfortable and kind of intuitive brush that I have ever met in a mascara. It's very convenient, but also it makes your lashes obviously extreme. It makes them big and curled and fluffy and voluminous, and everything that you want from a mascara. It's in this little package here, gold, beautiful package, and it doesn't move. It dries down very quickly and it doesn't move at all. I use Tom Ford Terra as actually more of a contour rather than a bronzer, and then I kind of topped it off with this giant powder by Chanel, the bronzing powder in medium. I still love this. I think it gives you a very smooth, kind of smoothing, blurring application. And as a blush, I used, this is another one of my favorites actually, Eclat New. This is that blushing duo from Tom Ford. And I think these are very subtle, very beautiful colors, and I do love the formula. This is that kind of baked gelée formula that I absolutely adore. I think it also kind of smooths your skin. And then as a highlighter, I used the new duos from Tom Ford. This is in Peach Light. This actually happens to be my favorite. I have 3 of these, 3 different variations, and I think I'm using Peach Light the most. I love these. And on my lips, I have Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, of course. Who doesn't have one of those? And as a lipstick, I have this twisty little thing from Sisley. This is in number 11. This happens to be one of my absolute favorite kind of neutral shades. It has just a little bit of a kind of a rose hint, if you will, a pinkish hint, but it's mostly neutral. I don't know how many times I've been repurchasing this, and I have obviously a lot of lipsticks, but this is very comfortable. This is probably one of my favorites, absolute favorite neutral lipsticks ever. And then I set with the Airbrush Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury. I use this every day. You can't go wrong with this. This smooths a little bit, but also sets your makeup like forever. If it's too drying for you, I have given that tip before, you can use a second spray. I sometimes use the La Mer setting spray as well, which is not exactly, it's more like skincare, but it's in almost the same bottle. Oh, and of course a perfume. I don't know if you've ever smelled this, but I love this. This is by Tom Ford, Wood Mineral. I absolutely love it. This is a very, I would say, professional scent, but also very subtle and feminine at the same time. Now I'm wearing it because for some reason it goes very well with leather. I love wearing leather. I love wearing leather jackets, and this is a shirt. I love wearing leather pants. I'm all about the leather, and this for some reason goes very, very well when you're wearing leather. So just kind of wanted to mention. Now to give you my thoughts, my final thoughts on this new creation by Cle De Peau, the Radiant Cushion Dewy Foundation. Once again, as you can see, I've set the foundation. It's not dewy, but what I'm noticing is definitely it has this beautiful glow from within. So it gives you that healthy radiance that doesn't look wet. It doesn't look obnoxious. I just don't like that wet look. I think the very glowy, dewy, wet look is over, by the way. I never really got into it, but it to me it's over. We're done with that. This is an impeccable formula. I don't know how they created that. Yes, they're calling it dewy, but this is obviously not dewy. Even if you don't set it, it still doesn't get dewy. It gets very radiant, but it doesn't get dewy, wet looking, which I obviously dislike. I have been wearing this foundation for a little over a week now, and I have to tell you, I have very long days for my job, and I usually don't have time to touch up between meetings. This doesn't move. I think the longest day that I had was probably 17 hours, and this didn't break apart, didn't move. This is definitely one of the longest wearing foundations in my collection. And when I'm testing a foundation, usually I test it a couple of days and then I usually diversify with something else in my collection. I have not been able to put it down for a whole week, and I can't wait to actually use this foundation because it's absolutely beautiful. It's very smoothing. It's the most blurring foundation in my collection. And usually when you have a foundation that's kind of radiant, dewy, glowy, and etc., or you call it that, those foundations usually kind of fall apart a little bit. I've always loved natural looking foundations, even a little bit more on the matte side, and the reason being is because matte foundations usually stay longer on the skin without changing. This doesn't move, it doesn't change, it doesn't oxidize. It's absolutely perfection, to be honest. It's also, you know, lightweight, it's beautiful, it has a very large mirror inside, so you can take it, you know, traveling with you. I travel for business a lot, so this is definitely going to be my travel companion, but it doesn't have to be. I absolutely love this product. This is probably the best, most successful product that I have tried in a very long time, and I'm not just talking about foundations. This is a very special formula, and this is a quick review of the new Radiant Dewy Cushion Foundation by Cle De Peau. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know if you have questions, thoughts, if you've tried it, what you think about it. I love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Bye.